WFIL stations recognize and pay tribute to the outstanding communities located within our viewing and listening area. In recognition of each community's history, industrial achievement, and cultural development, WFIL-TV Channel 6 presents this Community Salute.
The WFIL station salute Tredyffrin Township, with more than 21,000 persons living within its 19.5 square miles. This is Roy Nassau, along with Gunner Back.
Tredyffrin Township history is fascinating, well documented in early records, in historic buildings, and in traditions. To its early Welsh settlers, the area owes its name. Tre is the Welsh word for town or township. Diffrin means a wide, cultivated valley. And there, for the eye to behold in Tredyffrin Township, is the beauty of a wide, cultivated valley. Land that was purchased from William Penn in 1682 for 10 cents an acre today is worth perhaps 100,000 times that much. The early settlers came to Tredyffrin Township for two reasons: to worship as they pleased and to improve their economic lot. In this year, 1965, the township is primarily an area of superb homes with landscape to match. It is also the center of a brisk business and industry, and faced with the stresses caused by its growth. The chairman of the Township Board of Supervisors, William W. Porter, Jr., says the problems are being met.
To cope with the problems from increased population, we have gone from a 3-man board of supervisors to a 5-man board of supervisors. This has given us an opportunity to specialize the various functions of the township. Top of this, we have 55 employees in the township building.
The living is relaxed and gracious in the township's homes, which reflect the early history of the historic era, as well as the concept that marked this space age. Tredyffrin Township consists of such widely known communities as Paoli and Berwyn, along with Stratford, Devon, Dalesford, New Centerville, and part of Valley Forge. Tredyffrin is no longer a rural community. Rather, it is recognized as a sophisticated suburban site with a constantly increasing population. There are, within its 19.5 miles, many breathtaking locations for new homes, which overlook the wide, cultivated valley of the township. Presently, the township has about 21,000 residents. It's expected that it will reach 35,000 within the next decade. The township is very much a part of the greater Philadelphia complex, and many of its residents are in recently opened apartments, along with those who are awaiting the completion of additional apartments, so they too may join the pleasant atmosphere that is so much a part of residing along the main line. While Tredyffrin may appear to be bursting at the seams, its expansion is being carefully reviewed, not only by the township's Board of Supervisors, but also by the township's very active and alert Planning Commission. The chairman of the commission is Charles J. Ambrosi. He feels that the ever-increasing demands on the township are being handled in proper style.
We have, over the last 10 years, developed the tools and the necessary land use plans, community facilities plans, transportation studies to cope with, we feel, most of our future problems that may arise. It is true that we've had a number of things to contend with and take into account in our plan in the way in which our township sits in the key geographic situation in which it lies as the entrance and exit to the Delaware Valley.
The churches in Tredyffrin Township have history and traditions that were established long before the Revolutionary War. One church had its beginning in a log cabin erected in 1700. Others were to follow in 1714, 1731, 1744. During the past 2 centuries, the buildings have changed, of course, to keep up with the times. The bounty of nature surrounds many of the houses of worship, lending additional beauty to their architecture, and re-emphasizes the very reason for their origin, that the first worshipers came to these shores and to Tredyffrin Township to worship as they pleased. The magnificent churches attract not only the regular worshipers to service, but many from out of the township. And even as the community's residents know how to worship, they also know how to play. The youngsters find the playground in Stratford Park offering the interesting and exciting diversions more and more becoming a part of a community recreation effort. However, most of the youngsters in the communities comprising Tredyffrin Township still find the nearest schoolyard the best place to go for their games and sports. Tennis is perhaps more popular among the residents of the main line than in any other area of Delaware Valley. The courts in Stratford are available to all members of the township, and during the summer months there are tennis clinics and tennis tournaments conducted by the township instructors. Maintaining open spaces or recreational areas within the wide boundaries of the township is a continuing concern of the Board of Supervisors, according to Chairman William Porter.
At the present time, we have one park, several acres in Stratford. We're in the process of obtaining several small park areas, other portions of the township. We are also investigating at this time the possibility of maintaining a green area through some of the stream beds that we have in this township.
No mother or father needs be reminded school resumes next week. 5,000 Tredyffrin Township students will return to classes. The township's well-organized and unique system is ready, from high school to the log cabin used for making history have more meaning. According to School Superintendent J. Maurice Stratton of the combined Paoli area high schools and Tredyffrin Easttown elementary schools.
Our elementary schools are organized on a team teaching program wherein 6 teachers teach 150 pupils, as contrasted with the self-contained classroom with one teacher teaching 25. The junior high schools are operated on the little school program with each enrollment divided into approximately 9 little schools of 100 pupils each, where several teachers get to know a smaller number of pupils, which helps in the overall counseling and direction of this group. Our senior high schools are of the comprehensive type with highly diversified courses so that it is possible to provide for every student the courses which he needs and on a level of instruction which he is equipped to absorb.
More than 70% of the high school graduates of the Paoli area high schools go on to college. And even as the township prepares to open 2 new schools, it is at the same time planning ahead for additional educational facilities. Dr. Stratton finds the school boards and township supervisors most cooperative in making sure future educational programs are fulfilled.
We are continually planning new schools and new school additions. We have at the present time completed feasibility studies for the expansion of both senior high schools, which will be ready in 1967 and 1968. I might say that in all of this major effort of planning, of financing, of developing, of introducing new programs, the boards of education of all of the 6 districts in this joint school system, which includes Charlestown, East Whiteland, Easttown, Willistown, as well as Tredyffrin Townships and the borough of Malvern. The Tredyffrin Township School District and its boards of education have contributed magnificently and superbly during these years of growth problems.
Part of historic Valley Forge lies within Tredyffrin Township, and the Tredyffrin Historical Sites Committee is striving to preserve many of the areas and buildings which must endure for the character of Tredyffrin to endure. The Trindle home and property are now part of the park, but some feel the battle is being slowly lost as the march of progress is changing the face of the land that General Washington and his troops came upon nearly 2 centuries ago. The multi-million-dollar highway project along Route 202 will ultimately provide a limited access freeway that will originate at King of Prussia and terminate at Westchester. Along the road are new light industrial plants and handsome office buildings, with more to come in the future. Township Planning Commission Chairman Ambrogi discusses the type of industry Tredyffrin seeks.
We do find this, and we do want to make it clear, too, that we have not precluded or tried to exclude intelligent commercial or industrial development. We have found in the development of our comprehensive plan that there are many areas in our township not suited for residential use. And since we are principally residentially oriented, at the same time, there are many particular pieces in our township which are not suited for residential development, and therefore many of them are very practically suitable for industrial or commercial development.
The township's rapidly changing industrial life features companies that have been in the area for many years, along with recently built operations on Route 202 and only minutes away from the Pennsylvania Turnpike at King of Prussia. One long-time industry in the township is the Continental Can Company, which has moved into a brand new facility with plenty of space for expansion. General Manager Fred S. Hinkle explains Continental's decision to remain in the township.
After a survey of our employees, we found that many of them, better than 60%, had worked for the company at least 15 years, and we had at least 10% that were 25-year-old veterans. In Continental Can Company, the employees are a very important part of our operations. We have a union in the plant. Our experience with this union has been very good. We have not had an interruption in our activities since 1934.
There's not a can in sight at the Paoli operation, for this is Continental's flexible packaging division, which turns out packages for pet foods, chemicals, insecticides, snack foods, coffee, flour, and vacuum cleaner bags, to tick off just a few. There are 200 to 250 employees at the plant, which has an annual payroll of nearly $2 million and annual sales of $11 million. Heat sealable bags are a major portion of the plant's production. The bags provide a longer shelf life, whether they're on the shelf in the store or in your pantry. The plant is equipped for all types of printing, from 6-color letter presses to flexigraphing to gravure. The huge rolls come off the presses to be stored and used as needed. One of the packages made here at Paoli has the little fold over and then bends in to preserve the freshness. We get a demonstration of how it works. Working around the clock on a 3-shift basis, this flexible packaging plant of Continental's in Paoli turns out up to 2 million bags a day. We're quite sure that many of the trade names are familiar as you see them being printed at the Paoli plant of Continental Can. The plant is just about equally divided between production and warehousing, and the prime Paoli location makes the distribution and shipping of the bags a highly efficient function, according to Plant General Manager Fred Hinkle.
Our plant had grown to such an extent that we required rail service. The main line, the Trenton Cutoff, freight line of the Pennsylvania Railroad, practically runs through the center of Tredyffrin Township. That Trenton Cutoff carries freight both to the east and to the far west. We found it possible to locate on a 30-acre tract along this Trenton Cutoff, which is the main freight line of the Pennsylvania Railroad. Not only the railroad facility was available, but also the turnpike entrance at King of Prussia, along with the new construction of the 202 road, which would put us on the turnpike to go east or west within 5 minutes. It also, with the new roads in the township, have made it possible for our employees to get to the plant with a minimum of interruption due to heavy traffic.
Burroughs has been part of Tredyffrin Township since 1953. The research center, now headquarters for the corporation's Defense, Space, and Special Systems Group, covers 105,000 square feet. Instead of huge working areas, most of the research work at Burroughs is done in small labs by only a few engineers. Burroughs has developed a very compact, miniaturized system for missile checkout, automatic message processing, fire control, and airborne ground and naval data systems. It performs the work of much larger computers. Its integrated circuit's so tiny, it takes 30 of them to cover the top of an aspirin tablet, a fact which ought to give other computer manufacturers a bit of a headache. Its memory capacity can be expended from, and here, let's be precise, 4,934 words to 65,536 words by simply adding the necessary units. As easy to use as a typewriter, the subscriber set, which permits any type of business to talk to a computer, which might be located hundreds of miles away, provides information from the computer and is displayed on a tube very similar to a television tube. The set is ideal for airlines' reservation desks, factories to check their inventories, or control a manufacturing process. And with a flick of the switch, in case of problems, it brings on Bugs Bunny or Peyton Place, or perhaps even the Phillies game. The Burroughs medium-scale computer, known as B5500 around the plant, has a capacity so great for handling many problems simultaneously that the computers are not now used to their full capacity. Installed in the main lobby of the Burroughs operation at Paoli, the B5500 is used to do much of the data processing work originated by Burroughs engineers. In addition to the research center, Burroughs' other facilities in the area include the Great Valley Laboratory and the Control Instrument Division at Howellville, which is nearby. The largest concrete supplier on the East Coast, the Warner Company, has its ready-mix concrete plant in Tredyffrin Township, along with its quarry that produces stone for highway ballast on such projects as the Route 202 project, which is very nearby. The quarry operation has been in the area for many years, and the township has grown up around it. There is constant activity in and around the plant and the quarry as the Warner trucks move in for the concrete and then head for all points east. The quarry, like all quarries, is very huge and very deep and still providing the materials Warner supplies to its many customers. The impressive Allstate Insurance office at Valley Forge is the regional office for eastern Pennsylvania and Delaware, is the repository for some 235,000 policies covering every type of insurance possible. Allstate is the largest stock insurer of automobiles in the world. The Valley Forge office has nearly 700 employees with about 225 in the building. The one-floor operation is going to be expanded to 2 floors in the near future. It too has its computers, and you get to the point, whether you're cameraman Manny Whitaker or this reporter, when you notice the computers don't have too many curves. And it's nice to note there's no premium on pretty girls at work. And in the case of Allstate, there are also a great number of men in the office, which in addition to the policy clerks and secretaries include underwriters, claim adjusters, raters, and other important employees. Allstate was started in 1931 by Sears Roebuck in Chicago and had 4,217 policies sold its first year. It now has more than 8 million policies in force, and Allstate assets are well over $1.25 billion a year. All of these plants, offices, and industries are adding to the township's ever-increasing workload. And Tredyffrin's manager, Norman Malby, is the man responsible for making the township's operation go smoothly. We talked to Mr. Malby about his duties as the manager of Tredyffrin Township.
Tredyffrin Township, with a population in excess of 21,000, has a general government budget over $1 million. The Board of Supervisors, 5 men, all of whom are active in their own business activities, must employ and maintain a professional staff of people who are able to administer the needs of the residents of the township within the confines of the established budget. This is done through the manager's office and the various departments of the township government.
The Great Valley is the home of Gunner Back, whose house overlooks the lush countryside, and for Gunner, it's just the very best place in the Delaware Valley to live. His property covers some 10 acres, and in addition to the considerable front yard, backyard, and side yard, it also features a rather large area which produces farm products such as corn, tomatoes, and other vegetables that add much to the menu. And they also add, by the way, a little spending money for young Anders Back, who operates a small produce business for neighbors and a few friends.
Just a short ride from my house is the Vanguard School's branch in Paoli. Here, the students in the lower school go to classes 12 months a year. As is the case with the middle and upper schools in Haverford, the interjacent child is the student. A former estate has been successfully remodeled into a series of small classrooms, all air-conditioned. Vanguard's success is based on its work with the individual child. It is the hope and belief of Vanguard School that with thorough testing, proper preliminary training, and careful guidance, all its graduates can aspire to self-sufficiency at adulthood. It is always a happy occasion to renew old friendships with David Nassau, Roy's son, who is a Vanguard student. David is hoping those 2 front teeth knocked out in an auto accident a year and a half ago will be replaced in time for Christmas. Newest addition to Vanguard's expanding facilities at the lower school is the swimming pool, which gets all-day use during the summer months, with students enjoying the daily swim instruction nearly as much as they do the class instruction.
Classes will resume next week for 78 students at Royer Graves School for the Blind in Paoli. Founded by Mrs. Jessie Royer Graves in 1921 in Stratford, as the first school for retarded blind children, it moved into its present imposing and comfortable quarters in Paoli in 1960. The pupil is carried as far and as fast as he can go in each regular school subject. Tredyffrin is many things to many people. Its rapid business growth revealed by Fred Miller, president of the Upper Main Line Bank.
A comparison with the resources when I came to Paoli 25 years ago would indicate a very rapid growth, especially during the past few years. At that time, the total resources of the 2 banks, which are now merged as the Upper Main Line Bank, were approximately $2 million. At the present time, we're just about $28 million. We could add to this also other financial institutions which serve the area, which would probably add another $20 to $25 million. So this gives us a fairly good indication of the growth of the financial resources in our area.
The shopping in Tredyffrin Township is confined mainly to Paoli with its ever-enlarging shopping center and its attractive stores. Shoppers large and small come from many miles around to check the values and take advantage of the huge parking area. And with so many stores in the center, it becomes a matter of spending pleasant minutes or hours doing your shopping. As is the case with so many communities, not only Tredyffrin Township, but elsewhere along the main line, the growing competition from larger shopping centers has caused a new look in many smaller communities, resulting in shopping centers such as this. Paoli still has a few stores on the Lancaster Pike, long established with devoted customers. All in all, the business climate in the township is one that looks very good to Upper Mainline Bank President Miller.
The general business climate is very good. We have, within the last 10 years, a new shopping center. The stores are prosperous, and I would say we have much to look forward to.
You don't hardly find architecture like this anymore, as these stations on the main line of the Pennsylvania Railroad have withstood nobly the changes that have sprung up around them. But no story of the township would be complete without the Paoli station, relatively new and still a very busy operation, with every train on the Pennsy, eastbound or westbound, commuter or local, stopping at Paoli, for the Paoli local is very much a part of the language of the main line. As much a part of the Paoli station as perhaps the train and tracks is station master Norm Reynolds, who on September 15th will mark his 52nd year with the Pennsy and 28 years at Paoli. And so Tredyffrin Township, which includes Dalesford, Devon, New Centerville, Berwyn, and Paoli, is faced with the stresses and strains of growing pains. The chairman of the Township Board of Supervisors, William Porter, feels that the situation is well at hand.
I think with the machinery we have operating at the present time, the township should grow in an orderly manner. I hope that we will maintain the balance between the residential, industrial, and commercial uses.
There is no doubt that Tredyffrin Township is still one of William Penn's green country towns, and that the township's founding fathers can rest easy that today's township officials are doing their very best to retain the historic prestige of the area, retain its unique and pleasant atmosphere for living, and still move forward in the highest traditions of its founders. The WFIL station salute Tredyffrin Township. Roy Nassau and Gunnar Beck reporting.